Association of Massachusetts in Montreal and the National Council of SPG Associations UK will be hosting a Zoom on Sunday, April 27th, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. UK time. Topic: going back to our roots, the screening of Gary Funer film, crafting our indigenous memory by aptly altered. Featured remarks by Her Excellency Ron Gilchrist, SPG's High Commissioner to Canada. Gary Funer reflection from international presenters, a conversation on the Hub Collective Pushti project, and Ackley himself. A Q&A plus entertainment are on the program, hosted by Nicole Hendrickson. The Zoom on April 27th is free, but you must register today at defi.com/going back to our roots screening of Gary Funer film, or on the SPG Association of Ottawa's Facebook page. See you there.
Join your host, Ross Bishai, for Stepping into the Light at Behill Online Radio and Concardi Radio. Ross Bishai steps into the light of food and agriculture, culture and liberty. Stepping into the light lifts the level of your self-consciousness, activates your collective security genetic code, raises your earthly vibrations. To win in this Armageddon, you must listen to Stepping into the Light with host Ross Bishai.
Looking for a place to relax with natural cool breeze and friendly surroundings? Then check the Bay Hill Tree Bar, located at Bay Hill Cane Garden. We have everything a bar will have. We also sell Shell 20 pounds cooking gas at the Bay Hill Tree Bar.
Hi, this is Faye.
And this is Claremont.
Join us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
right here on Bay Hill News Network for the Praise Life Morning Show.
Welcome.
Boost your brand's visibility with Branding by Weeks. At Branding by Weeks, we are passionate about helping brands gain exposure and make a significant impact. Let us elevate your brand's visibility and reach new heights. Connect with us today by email at spweeks@hotmail.com or message us on WhatsApp 613-866-8939.
Kick the dust off your boots and join me every Saturday at 7 p.m. and Wednesday at 5 p.m. as we go charting in the USA country style right here on Bay Hill News Network. We'll count down the top 30 country hits of the week and bring back the memories that make you say,
Oh, yes, I remember.
So rustle up your herd and stop by every Saturday evening at 7 p.m. and again on Wednesday at 5 p.m. for charting in the USA country style right here on Bay Hill News Network.
You can now order your roti skins from Des Tasty Treats and Roti Skins at telephone 1784-528-2979 or pick up Des Tasty Treats and Roti Skins at Randy's Supermarket. More products are coming soon from Des Tasty Treats and Roti Skins.
It's the Vin Abbott Show with news, views, and interviews. The music in the mix on Saturdays, 4 p.m. Concardi Radio.
Traveling to St. Vincent, need to get around Crystal Connection Car Rental, telephone 1784-529-9120 or email crystaldanielle91@gmail.com. Book your economy rental car today.
Getting soulful is what we do on Charting in the USA with Soul. I'm Chuck Shorter, and every Sunday at 5 p.m. and again on Monday at 3 p.m., join me as we go back in time to count down the top 30 soul hits in the U.S. right here on Bay Hill News Network. From Aretha to Whitney, Lionel Luther will play the songs that bring back memories. Warming your soul with music is what we do every Sunday at 5 p.m. and again on Monday at 3 p.m. on Charting in the USA with Soul, right here on Bay Hill News Network.
Island Style Souvenir and Clothing Store. We carry everything you need in souvenir. T-shirts in all different sizes, cap, keychains, key rings, plaques and banners, magnets, ID holders, mugs, and we even carry St. Vincent flag. And that's not all. We carry Hawaiian style t-shirts and dresses, handbags with matching scarf. We also carry tie-dye dresses, shirts, and tops. Everything in our store are made right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So come on over and check us out. We are located at the cruise ship berth in Kingstown, Island Style.
Every Mondays to Fridays at 6 a.m. live Bible reading on BayHillNews.net.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen,
I
RSR Rentals, we got you covered. Looking for clean, reliable, luxurious vehicles? We got you covered. Budget-friendly drop-off and pickup? We got you covered. Visiting SVG or already here? We got you covered. So visit us online at rsrrentals.com or call us 1784-527-6014 at RSR Rentals. The choice is yours.
Every Sunday at 5:30 a.m. and 7 a.m. live church service from St. George's Anglican Cathedral, St. Vincent and the Grenadines on BayHillNews.net.
The semi-finals and finals for the biggest cricket a country is coming this weekend. Yes, it's the Chevron Johns T10 Cricket Tournament going down at Oria this Saturday and Sunday for 1 p.m. Come on out for the exciting matches in the semi and finals. The entertainment turn right up. Look out for the legendary Tuco Crest, The Fugitive, DJ Domo, and DJ Blaze. Yes, this weekend it's back-to-back excitement. This Saturday 26 and Sunday 27. Bring a friend and come on up to OTR for Chevron Johns Cricket Finals. OTR, link up.
Yes, folks, it's Heart to Heart every Thursday night. Please join me this and every Thursday night at 9 p.m. for Heart to Heart. You can hear Heart to Heart on Bay Hill News Network and also on Concord Radio in Toronto. Every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Please join me. You never know what you're going to hear on Heart to Heart, but you will hear it. Don't forget to join me. Please share this live.
Parish of Holy Trinity presents May Day Fair Thursday 1st May 2025 on the grounds of Holy Trinity Parish, Georgetown from 1 p.m. until. There'll be delicious local dishes, barbecue, sauce, kalalo soup, and madongo. Yes, madongo. Plus games, sweets, a planned stall. Yes, May Day Fair will be fun, food, and entertainment in Georgetown, Holy Trinity Parish grounds, 1 p.m. until, with music by New Flavor Sounds.
When in Antigua, travel with Orvan Bully Bus services between Pigot's Village and St. John's on Old Firearm Road. We also conduct island chores 7 days per week, all in comfort, style, and safety. For more information, contact Orvan Bully, 1268-764-2869. That's 1268-764-2869.
Unity Picnic fam, it's Marian Duncan from the SVG Association of Ottawa, and guess what? Vinci Unity Picnic Canada 2025 is coming your way. Mark your calendars, July 19th, 2025 at the Chrysler Park Marina. This year, bigger, bolder, and more fun for everyone. Kids Village? Oh yeah, I'm gonna be part of that village. Bring the creativity, the fun, and the big stage moments. Food, music, culture, vibes, all day long. Don't miss out. Send us an email at vinciunitypicnic@gmail.com to stay in the loop. Vinci Unity Picnic 2025. It's gonna be epic. See you there.
Bay Hill News Network is an internet radio. We are affiliate with Fun City Radio USA, Cancardi Radio, and Success Radio Canada and Blaze Nation Media Group. You can find Bay Hill News Network at www.bayhillnews.net.
Every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. you will hear a old-time story by Vin Abbott on BayHillNews.net.
You can now order your roti skins from Des Tasty Treats and Roti Skins at telephone 1784-528-2979 or pick up Des Tasty Treats and Roti Skins at Randy's Supermarket. More products are coming soon from Des Tasty Treats and Roti Skins.
When in Antigua, travel with Orvan Bully Bus services between Pigot's Village and St. John's on Old Firearm Road. We also conduct island chores 7 days per week, all in comfort, style, and safety. For more information, contact Orvan Bully, 1268-764-2869. That's 1268-764-2869.
It's the Vin Abbott Show with news, views, and interviews. The music in the mix on Saturdays, 4 p.m. Cancardi Radio.
Looking for a place to relax with natural cool breeze and friendly surroundings? Then check the Bay Hill Tree Bar, located at Bay Hill Cane Garden. We have everything a bar will have. We also sell Shell 20 pounds of cooking gas at the Bay Hill Tree Bar.
Ladies and gentlemen,
ISR Rentals, we got you covered. Looking for clean, reliable, luxurious vehicles? We got you covered. Budget-friendly drop-off and pickup? We got you covered. Visiting SVG or already here? We got you covered. So visit us online at rsrrentals.com or call us 1784-527-6014 at RSR Rentals. The choice is yours.
Presents Inside Health, a 30-minute program in which we explore the human body and functions. We'll share real-life stories and the latest in medical science as we look at related diseases, conditions, and determinants of health that affect quality of life. So join me, Vin Abbott, on Wednesday evenings from 8:30 for Inside Health on Bay Hill News Net, also on CancardiRadio.info.
Well, a special good evening to you, good night to you, good morning to you. Whatever the time in your place, welcome to this week's edition of Inside Health. Like you just heard in that promo there, my name is Vin Abbott here in the studio of Cancardi Radio in Toronto, the greater Toronto area, with Monty Cupid, our chief engineer there on St. Vincent and the Grenadines there at Bay Hill News Network in the Southern Caribbean. Thank you for allowing us into your space at this time, especially after the Easter long weekend. Trust you had a good time. Trust you remembered the reason for the season in your celebrations on the weekend, the resurrection. And here we go again for another week. Inside Health is a radio magazine program. It takes a look at the human body, different parts, functions, diseases, and conditions that affect performance. It also explores strategies for possible solution. And in this regard, close attention is paid to the determinants of health, all those factors with which we were born, we grow, we live, and age. We do not diagnose nor prescribe. We, however, make references and may refer if needed and possible. This program, yes, comes to you on BayHillNewsNetwork.net. That is BayHillNews.net and CancardiRadio.info simultaneously. And in this week's edition, we continue to look at the feet or the foot. And in this week's edition, we're going to be looking at bunions, referencing material from Dr. Anthony Kamaroff, chief editor from the Harvard Medical Family Health Guide. And we'll also be remembering Pope Francis, especially from an environmental health, climate conditions standpoint. So thank you for being there. Thank you for being there. Let's get started. Like we have always been saying, it's so important for us to pay close attention to our feet, our foot, right? There are so many conditions that affect the feet, and one of the main reasons is because we do not pay enough attention. As we've been saying, the feet take a beating from our day-to-day activities, walking the pavements, walking the roads, walking the hills, on the job, standing for long hours, and we can go on and on. And there are so many conditions, and in many cases not life-threatening, or most cases they're not life-threatening, but they give us a picture. The state of the feet, the conditions and symptoms that affect our feet can give us an insight, a picture into what's going on in our bodies. Yes, our feet, our ankles, our legs, our lower extremities, so to say, can tell us what is going on in many cases in our body. For example, swollen ankles, swollen legs can be an indication of kidney problems or some heart condition or something of the sort. Yes, or if there are ulcers on your legs and so on and so on, your feet, that can be an indication of unmanaged, poorly managed not managed at all, or diabetes. With me, my friends? But tonight we're going to be talking about bunions. And because many folks present with this, particularly women. And so let's get into the meat of it. What is a bunion? A bunion is a firm bump that forms at the base of the big toe joint. Yes, at the joint, at the base of the big toe joint, due to a deformity or enlargement of the bones of the big toe, causing them to push out. Yeah? As this bony protrusion rubs against your shoe, the skin may redden and the underlying bursts or swells and becomes painfully inflamed. Infected, inflamed, it swells up and all of that. Right? The resulting bursitis, or the inflammation of the bursa, may be severe enough to cause you to limp. Are you my friend? Yeah, sounds familiar? Now, women develop bunions about 10 times more often than men. Some of the reasons preferred might be because they are more likely to wear shoes that are narrow, pointed, and high-heeled. Yeah? Pressure from the shoe causes the deformity of the toe joint, and the prevalence of bunions increases with age. Both because older people are more likely to have arthritis-related deformities of their feet, and because many people do not wear shoes that accommodate the shape of their feet. And once a bunion arises, soft, leather shoes that are wide enough, have low heels, and lace up can reduce pressure and pain. Now, let us stick a pin there. The point has been made. I think throughout the series, we have been addressing the issue, pointing toward. We have been trying to lean in on the issue of the footwear, the quality of the footwear, and the relationship between the footwear and the foot problems. And we have made a point that these days we tend to put emphasis on fashion over comfort. It was just today, I think it was, I was out there. I think I was somewhere out there in the community. And for some strange reason, Monty, I have these days, because I've been affected by plantar fasciitis, and I've endured a lot of pain. Thank goodness that the pain, I'm really getting better, much better than I was a couple of weeks ago. I'm actually, I'm using now, I got my inserts, my insoles and all that prepared for me by the foot doctor. But I have this nasty way of looking at what people wear in the shoes, and it's amazing how the shoe industry is evolving. The kinds of soles, the high soles, and the wide, areas, and so on and so on. It's simply amazing. It's simply amazing. What caught my eye today was I saw a gentleman with a pair of sneakers on, and we are not advocating or selling any brand here, but the brand was fashion. I almost laughed, and I looked at the sneakers, and it, whatever. I mean, of course, everybody, you have to know what you have to know. But I was thinking, well, this is what we're talking about. So here's a pair of sneakers, a brand of sneakers called fashion. I wondered to myself then how comfortable the sneakers were. I wondered. But as many people you see out there, there are brands of shoes out there. And friends, this is I'm not making light of the issue, but we're really encouraging you to pay close attention to your feet and particularly the footwear that you use. I know, I understand, I get it, that sometimes things are beyond our control for financial reasons, determinants of health. I get that, yes. But as far as possible, as far as possible, make an effort. Even though you have to have, 3, 4, or 2 pairs of shoes to use, one for work, one for something else, or 3 or whatever, make sure you get the best possible shoes for you. Gone are the days when you, I remember as a kid growing up, I had 2 pairs of shoes. I had one for school and I had one for Sunday school. And during the day, I can use the pair for school to run around and play cricket and things like that. I had to go barefooted for a while. That changed over time, right? And the one that I had, for Sunday school, for church, it was one of those, my brothers used to heckle me. We used to call it crapper mouth because it was wide. I think I remember that pair of shoes quite well, as my brother Vin Abbott had sent for me from England. What a brown shoe, wide and nice and so. I wish I could get one now. But the thing about it, when it came to cleaning the shoes to go to church, like so many folks in those days, we didn't have the money to buy shoe polish and all of that. We used that Vaseline. As soon as you made the first step out into the yard, oh man, the sand on your shoe. Those days, right? But now, many of us have more shoes that we can wear. That's the truth. You can't wear all the shoes you have, and in life, just similarly, clothes and other things like that. So you have to invest in a good pair of shoes. Get the help of on St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Southern Caribbean, if you have podiatrists around and are up to this, mist, that is, and probably a physiotherapist, chiropractor, somebody to help you make a decision in that regard, or your family doctor. Yeah, you can do some research as well. Internet is there. You can have a discussion online with a doctor, and so on. And these days, people tend to buy many things online on the different platforms. And I think that's a risk unless you are going to be prepared to return. If you're like me, I've been taking like days and days and days and days visiting the shoe shops to get the kinds of footwear that I need at this time. So if you order online, how are you going to be certain that the shoes that you ordered are the right fit? Because like I think we said some time ago, 11s might not be 11s, 11s here in Canada might not be 11 down there or wherever, right? The sizes are scattered all over the place, according to the foot doctor, my foot doctor, my podiatrist. So that's something you need to think about when you're buying shoes. You need to fit them. You need to try them on. Yeah? You need to try them on and make sure they feel comfortable. Very important. Yes? So, the point. Once a bunion arises, soft leather shoes that are wide enough, have low heels, and lace up can reduce pressure and pain. Other good footwear choices include athletic shoes with soft toe boxes or open sandals with straps that do not touch the irritated area. Friends, in addition to all of this, you can protect the bunion with a thick, donut-shaped moleskin pad, which relieves pressure from your shoe, and custom-made shoe inserts. Yes, custom shoe-made inserts, very important. Help redistribute your weight. Yeah, your weight, and take pressure off the bunion, and that also can help. And there are some drugs out there that can ease pain and swelling that you'll have to speak with your doctor about. I would strongly suggest. Now, when bunions make wearing shoes difficult and all other remedies have failed, your physician, your family doctor, may recommend what is called a bunionectomy. Ectomy means surgery to remove, the removal of. Right? So a bunionectomy, which is surgery in which the bunion is reduced by cutting or straightening the bone so that the toe points directly ahead. And a special walking shoe, splint or cast, as well as crutches are needed for several weeks after surgery. Sincerely hope that none of you have to go through having to do those kinds of sort of what I would consider radical, measures. Sincerely hope if you have a bunion or if you have bunions, you can get some help. Pay attention to your footwear and things of that nature, my friends, will strongly suggest. We're going to take a break here. We're going to come back in our program next week with more on the foot and conditions that affect the foot. And we probably will go into, in our program next week, swollen legs, ankles, or feet. This particular area intrigues me. I have an interest in this area because, like I said earlier on in today's presentation, there's a relationship between the legs, the ankles, and the feet when it comes to certain underlying conditions. Yes, systemic conditions like kidney problems and diabetes and heart-related conditions. So I want to delve into that a little bit in its entirety in our program next week. We're going to take a break at this juncture. You're listening to Inside Health with Vin Abbott here in Toronto in the studio of Kankadi Radio with our Chief Engineer, Monty Kippett, in the studio of the Hill News Network. They're on St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the Southern Caribbean. When we come back, we'll be remembering.
Show with news, views, and interviews. The music in the mix on Saturdays, 4 p.m. Kankadi Radio.
The semi-finals and finals for the biggest cricket a country is coming this weekend. Yes, it's the Chevron Johns T10 Cricket Tournament going down at Oria this Saturday and Sunday, 1 p.m. Come on out for the exciting matches in the semi and finals. The entertainment turn right up. Look out for the legendary Tuco Crest, The Fugitive, DJ Domo, and DJ Blaze. Yes, this weekend it's back-to-back excitement. This Saturday 26 and Sunday 27. Bring a friend and come on up to OTR for Chevron Johns Cricket Finals. OTR, link up.
Parish of Holy Trinity presents May Day Fair Thursday 1st May 2025 on the grounds of Holy Trinity Parish, Georgetown from 1 p.m. until. There'll be delicious local dishes, barbecue, sauce, kalalo soups, and madongo. Yes, madongo. Plus games, sweets, a planned stall. Yes, May Day Fair will be fun, food, and entertainment in Georgetown. Holy Trinity Parish grounds, 1 p.m. until, with music by New Flavor Sounds. You can now order your roti skins from Des Tasty Treats and Roti Skins at telephone 1784-528-2979 or pick up Des Tasty Treats and Roti Skins at Randy's Supermarket. More products are coming soon from Des Tasty Treats and Roti Skins.
Ladies and gentlemen,
ISR Rentals, we got you covered. Looking for clean, reliable, luxurious vehicles? We got you covered. Budget-friendly drop-off and pick-up? We got you covered. Visiting SVG or already here? We got you covered. So visit us online at rsrrentals.com or call us 1784-527-6014 at RSR Rentals. The choice is yours.
Looking for a place to relax with natural cool breeze and friendly surroundings? Then check the Bay Hill Tree Bar, located at Bay Hill Cane Garden. We have everything a bar will have. We also sell Shell 20 pounds of cooking gas at the Bay Hill Tree Bar. Bay Hill News Network presents Inside Health, a 30-minute program in which we explore the human body and functions. We'll share real-life stories of the latest in medical science as we look at related diseases, conditions, and determinants of health that affect quality of life. So join me, Vin Abbott, on Wednesday evenings from 8:30 for Inside Health on Bay Hill News Net, also on KankadiRadio.info.
Well, welcome back to Inside Health, this week's edition. Still focusing on the foot, the feet, so to speak. And as a special for tonight, for the next 10 minutes or so, we'll be remembering Pope Francis, the Holy Father. Friends, let me preface this. Let me get into a full disclosure here and preface it by saying this program is not about religion or anything like that, But if we landscape it against what we believe in, the determinants of health, all those factors that affect health and well-being, you'll understand where we're going with this. Faith, whether you believe in faith or your personal faith, or you belong to a religion, you're non-religious or non-faithful, so to speak, we get that. But as when it comes to health, we look at the total person. And we are not just physical, we are mental, we are social, we are spiritual, and all of that, right? So it's against that background that we are going to do this special piece remembering Pope Francis. Not only that, we remember politicians, and I know, in most countries we try to say there's a separation between state and church. Well, the simple point is, Pope Francis, whether you believe in his policies, his doctrines, and all of that, we have over 1.4 billion persons who belong to the Catholic faith, the Catholic religion. Of around 8 billion persons on the earth. Now, that is more than representative. And so we are on solid ground, because I've been looking at some comments and all of that, but this is a significant occasion in our history as a human race. Yes, the first Pope from the southern hemisphere, from Argentina originally, served 12 years, giving papal services to the world, and well-grounded in issues related to people. So many things that politicians don't, politicians and leaders and in other spheres and other domains preach so many things, say many things, make so many promises, and they don't live up to them. It's interesting to I would encourage you, my friends, regardless of where you stand, whatever your faith, whatever you believe in, to take a look at the history, the legacy of Pope Francis. I am not a Catholic, but I'm a person of faith. My faith is strong. I believe. Anglican, Catholic, same. We believe in the Holy Trinity, God the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. I also went to a secondary school on St. Vincent. It was a Catholic school, St. Martin Secondary School, and I'm extremely grateful. They did not push religion on us, but we got what we needed to get apart from academics, discipline, and other things like that, and I'm grateful. Very grateful. Friends, having said that, on Easter Monday, Pope Francis died. And through work, I got a piece from Reverend Cameron Trimber, who is the Executive Director and CEO of Center for Progressive Renewal. Cameron also serves on the Board of Directors for Convergence. She's an author and so many other things. I want to start off this session with the words of Reverend Cameron Trimber. I read, on this Earth Day, let me back up a little bit, which was yesterday, my words. So, on this Earth Day, we honor the memory of Pope Francis, who called us to hear the cry of the poor and the cries of the earth as one cry. May we carry his courage forward. May we live as if the planet matters. May we love as if our future depends on it, because it does. Amen. By Reverend Cameron Trimber. For me, this is a reminder, a call for us to be non-judgmental and to do what we have to do in the interest of all of us, the human race. So I'm going to go to the Time magazine, the Time for today. And they explored, they did something, the climate Pope Francis and his environmental legacy under that caption, right? Climate sustainability, the climate Pope Francis and his environmental legacy. And I'm going to read some of what they said and wrote about in this piece, a call to action. Francis' most influential intervention came in 2015 when he published an encyclical or a papal letter to his bishops meant to guide them in their work focused on changing our environment. Called Laudato Si, meaning be praise be to you. Laudato Si. Laudate, I think, in Italian. Yeah. It made the case for the invention interwoven, that is, nature of our climate change and social justice challenges. Again, this is according to the Times. Francis paid special attention to the disproportionate impact of climate change on the world's poorest and critiqued the economic structures that make this a reality. We are faced not with two separate crises, one environmental and the other social, he wrote, but rather with one complex crisis, which is both social and environmental. He's been one of the strongest voices pushing to get things done. John Kerry, the former U.S. climate envoy that is, once told me after meeting with Francis. Under the subheading of Building a Broad Church, we'll continue. Kerry is far from alone. Francis turned the Vatican into a key stop on the itinerary of climate leaders and even welcomed, yes, all executives to spur action on the climate. Top officials running the annual UN Climate Conference would often include a papal audience in their marathon of global meetings. He met with Greta Thunberg, the Swedish climate activist, at the height of her campaign to wake political leaders up to the climate challenge. He also tried to foster breakthroughs in addition to photo-ops. In 2018, for example, he convened some of the world's biggest oil and gas companies, including ExxonMobil, BP, and Shell, for closed-door discussions about the climate imperative. After the meeting, some of the executives issued a statement acknowledging the importance of addressing global warming. And then there is his influence in the church. Not all of the world's Catholics embraced his environmental agenda, with some conservatives, particularly from places with robust fossil fuel industries, saying environmental issues fell out of his scope. And yet Francis helped make the climate issue a mainstream one for many others in the church. In anticipation of his encyclical, an organization called the Laudato Si movement was established by Catholic environmental advocates, that is, to activate Catholics around the globe to take action on environmental issues. That includes not only simple and educational initiatives, but also a push for action-oriented initiatives like divestment. At times, Francis' climate work was undoubtedly overshadowed by a slew of controversies that have plagued the church in recent decades. It remains to be seen how resilient it will be.
Many of his potential successors have little interest in the climate agenda, and many of the political leaders who once praised him have been replaced with populists with little appreciation for his work. Reading parts there from the Time for today as regards Pope Francis under the caption, The Climate Pope Francis and His Environmental Legacy. Before we end, I'm going to read from, I think this came from the scientific research. Yes, Apostolic Exhortation, Laudato Diem, that is Laudato Diem, Italian. It can be pronounced in French as well. Laudate Diem of the Holy Father Francis to all people of goodwill on the climate crisis. And we'll just read some of that letter that came from Pope Francis in 2023. I read. 8 years have passed since I published the encyclical letter Laudato Si, when I wanted to share with all of you, my brothers and sisters of our suffering planet, my heartfelt concerns about the care of our common home. Yet, with the passage of time, I have realized that our responses have not been adequate, while the world in which we live is collapsing and maybe nearing the breaking point. In addition to this possibility, it is undoubtable that the impact of climate change will increasingly prejudice the lives and the families of many persons. We will feel its effects in the areas of healthcare, sources of employment, access to resources, housing, forced migrations, etc. Let's stick a pin there. Just reflect, my friends, on what we've been experiencing over the last several years. Well, we entered 2025. That was in 2023. Look at what we experienced last year and the year before, and before all of that. I've often said on this platform, other platforms, there are not many things that keep me awake at night. One of the things, though, is just reflecting and thinking about what are the conditions that we are leaving for our children and grandchildren and grandchildren. It's something that really bothers me. Are we leaving a better planet or a worse planet? Obviously, all the trends indicate that it's worse than we met it, for sure. I remember growing up in Georgetown, what the bayside was, the beach it was then, what it was like, sanded and all of that, having fun in the sea and the river, clean and all of that. I looked at something I think Monty shared with us today in Kankadi Radio, the state of, I think it is Sign Hill Bay or something like that, the state of the beach or the bay down there on St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we can go on and highlight so many issues related to the impacts of climate change. This is what the Pope spoke about in 2023. Impact on all of us at all levels, on healthcare, the demands that we were based on healthcare. He continued to say, this is a global social issue and one intimately related to the dignity of human life. The bishops of the United States have expressed this social meaning of our concern about climate change, which goes beyond a merely ecological approach, because our care for one another and our care for the earth are intimately bound together. Climate change is one of the principal challenges facing society and the global community. The effects of climate change are borne by most vulnerable people, whether at home or around the world. In a few words, The bishops assembled for the Synod of Amazonia said the same thing. Attacks on nature have consequences for people's lives. And to express bluntly, that is no longer a secondary or ideological question. We'll continue a little bit, my friends. Yes, from the letter from the Pope in 2023. It's no longer an ideological question, but a drama that harms us all. The African bishop stated that climate change makes manifest a tragic and striking example of structural sin. The reflection and information that we can gather from these past 8 years, right? 2015, 2023. Yes, the reflection and information that we can gather from these past 8 years allow us to clarify and complete what we were able to state some time ago. For this reason, because of the situation is now even more pressing, I have wished to share these pages with you. I will end with a paragraph from Pope Francis, Gone to the Great Beyond, under the caption, The Global Climate Crisis. Remember the words of Reverend Cameron Trimble. On this Earth Day, we honor the memory of Pope Francis. Who called us to hear the cry of the poor and the cries of the earth as one cry. May we carry his courage forward. May we live as if the planet matters. May we love as if our future depends on it, because it does. Amen. This is how Pope Francis described it in 2023, my friends. The global climate crisis. Despite all attempts to console, gloss over, or relativize that is the issue, the signs of climate change are here and increasingly evident. No one can ignore the fact that in recent years we have witnessed extreme weather phenomena, frequent periods of unusual heat, drought, and other cries of protest on the part of the earth that are only a few palpable expressions of a silent disease that affects everyone. Admittedly, not every concrete catastrophe ought to be attributed to global climate change. Nonetheless, it is variable that specific climate changes provoked by humanity are notably heightening the probability of extreme phenomena that are increasingly frequent and intense. For this reason, we know that every time the global temperature increases by 0.5 degrees centigrade, the intensity and the frequency of great rains and floods increase in some areas and severe droughts in others, extreme heat waves in some places, and heavy snowfalls in others. If up to now we could have heat waves several times a year, what will happen if the global temperature increases 1.5 degrees centigrade, which we are approaching? Yes? Those heat waves will be much more frequent and with greater intensity. If it should rise above 2 degrees, the ice caps of Greenland and a large part of Antarctica will melt completely, with immensely grave consequences for everyone. Wow, powerful words from Pope Francis. The climate Pope Francis ending his environmental legacy. Perhaps next week, God willing, to follow up on this from this letter. In 2023, we look at the subheading resistance and confusion. Friends, this is where we end the program. I'm just being me. Since I hope you found it useful, since I hope you ponder, you might not agree with some of the things that were said tonight based on what I read. my own my views, that's okay. I sincerely wish though you'll think about the environment and the push that was made by Pope Francis during his 12 years as the head of the Catholic Church to the great cause for humanity. We're in this together. We're in this together. We'll continue next week. Let me just make sure I have this here. Resistance and confusion. Think about it, my friends. Wanty, thank you for being there. Listeners, wherever you are on Kankadi Radio, Bay News Network, down there in the Southern Caribbean, across the globe, thank you very much for being part of our program this week, Inside Health, with yours truly, Vin Abbott. Sincerely, we found it useful. Perhaps tonight, probably a little bit of thought-provoking stuff, but it's all about us, yes, but us. Looking at the social determinants of health tonight, we twinned the spiritual piece with the environmental piece. That's what we do best here on this program. Monty, thank you very much. We shall be in touch. And listeners, we shall be with you, God willing, next Wednesday evening. Thank you. Migan.